Welcome to No Man's Sky. This is my third playthrough, so this is unlike any game I've played so far. I've already had two distinctly different experiences with a random game. So one I started on an ice planet and the other on a steep terrain volcanic planet. So we're just going to do one of the things you'll notice, we're going to try and select a new game. And as you see, I've played like almost 9 hours on one and 9 hours on another. So let's do a new game and see what we get. So they all start out with, I'm just going to do normal game. Until I get used to this, I'm not sure I want to do permadeath or survival. It's hard enough surviving initially on a normal game. So I may try survival next. But they all start out with a very similar narrative. Stay alive. Seek materials, get some basic equipment, and find your starship. And from there on, they pretty much diverge dramatically. The races you meet are different, the backstory is different, the plants and terrain is quite remarkably different. Some of the things you discover along the way are what make this game kind of unique. You'll find that you see a number of planets have a higher density of materials, and other planets have very few materials. Others have a lot of outposts and places to locate, and some planets are almost non-existent. So it's kind of a challenge just to really get a sense of consistency when you're saying you can't use a formula on this game. And part of the fun is actually learning some of the things that you didn't realize you could do. In fact, the last game I was playing, there was a bunch of animals, and I suddenly realized, oh, I can feed them and they kind of like me and they kind of follow me around, and eventually, in fact, you can get some advanced training. You can actually use them as transport, which is kind of cool, but I haven't got that far. So this is probably my very first experience was, what the heck am I doing here? I waited and waited and waited, realizing that it wanted me to press the E key. So I thought there was something wrong with the game. So the first, right off the bat, it's like, oh, E key. And you'll notice when you hold things down, they do this sort of little circle completion thing. So there we go. Now we're in the game. So we are in a brand new planet. I have no idea what it's going to look like. I have no idea what it looks like it's a wet planet. Oh yeah, storms, another thing. They changed. Some are very, this is interesting. The other thing is the environment. So we've got, let's see, I'm taking some radiation and it's pretty toxic. So this looks like a temperate, toxic, slightly radioactive planet that I'm on. And so it's just initializing the game at the moment. Oh yeah, you've got a jetpack, you've got some basic equipment, you've got a multi-tool that you use for gathering resources. There's my multi-tool. And I think we're off. So, this kind of just gives you a little backstory. I think we're on our way. So yeah, the band at the top suggests I need some. Yeah, I'm going to need some carbon pretty quick. C. So C, find some sodium. Oh great. My scanners. I might die. I need some ferrite pretty darn quick. In fact, anything that's a rock has some ferrite dust. I need 75 of them before I die. And then I need to find some sodium quickly. Oh, that one needs an advanced, and that's wrong stuff. Yeah, I'm in a pretty bad way. Alright, so I'm going to wing it because I cannot repair my scanner in time. I could just die, which isn't a, you know. Alright, we're looking for some sodium, and I'm not seeing any. Okay, well this is, this is not an untypical start. Let's see if I got any sodium. I can't find any. One of the things about sodium is you'll see a glowy yellow plant, and that's a high sodium content plant, and I am nearly dead if I don't find sodium soon. I don't have time to scan for it. And I'm not even sure if this is the same, going to have the same. Oh. Okay, we're going to expire any second now. But just remember where you were, next to this big green plant. Oh, and something's attacking me. Oh, this is really bad. Ah! I think that's a sodium plant. Okay, we might make it. If my health doesn't run out. See that glowy yellow thing? That is sodium. And so, to gather it, you actually just gather this. Oh, I'm near my ship as well. That was lucky. Oh, this is unusual to get this much sodium in one location. So, you hit protection, and you throw some sodium at it, and I'm going to live, which is pretty cool. I've got some carbon, I think. No, I don't have any oxygen. It's oxygen I need. But this is a key thing to get is sodium. And this is very lucky that I actually ran towards where there happened to be my ship. But I'm going to get a whole load of this because I will need this to protect my my suit integrity. Which is anything that keeps me alive. Alright. This blue stuff is useful because this is dihydrogen crystals. This is what you need for rocket fuel, basically. This is launch fuel to get your ship off the ground. So you're not going to know this the first time you go through. So these are sort of key things to find. Just find some sodium quick. Oh, that's a blue flower. Is actually gives you a rocket pack boost, which is this thing. If you hit the spacebar, kind of it gives you. It's good for getting up slopes, or if you fall down a hole, getting out of a hole. All right, it doesn't last for long, but it's very useful for getting out of holes. So, no, we need some. Oh, these are actually toxic plants. These things that go boom, and so you want to keep away from them because they'll do damage. But they do have oxygen, so you mine, if you will, you mine the toxic plants. All right. So we can actually, our life support, we took some damage because we were running out of...
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Oh, that's Alexa talking. We're running out of health there. So we can just top our health support up. We could top our... we got plenty of sodium now, so we can actually put our life support system or protection system up as well. Now, what are we looking for? We want us to get more ferrite dust. So they give you those little... give you little hints just to kind of get some ferrite dust. Is that going to have ferrite dust? Yeah. Now notice it says lots of question marks with analyze. That means if you actually knew what that rock was made of, you could harvest more stuff. And see, another thing I popped up was a geode. Geodes are kind of useful in that they can give you other stuff. And as in this game, you click the E, hold the E key down. And it'll analyze. Gave me more ferrite dust. It gave me even more ferrite dust. So now we can, I think we can repair our scanner. So you hit the tab key, you do here, and it'll tell you what you need to repair your scanner. 75 ferrite dust. So now we've got our scanner repaired. Alright, recharge hazard there. So it just wants us to do the sodium charge, which we've already done. We actually knew what we needed to do because we didn't want to die. Just do that. Click on hazard protection, click on sodium, and then you've recharged your... So that little sub... It does give you... What the heck is that? There's some bag jumping along. So this is the other thing is the creatures that are here are just amazing. In fact, there's a sodium plant up there I might just go and take a look at. And so far, most of the creatures have not been hostile. I have found that the plants are actually more hostile than the creatures. They tend to leave you alone unless you harass them. But later on, you'll actually find you can feed the creatures, which is kind of cool. I don't know what this is. Oh, more ferrite dust. Well, we will need more of that. So we're going to harvest some ferrite dust. There's one of those toxic creatures. And you'll notice this thing has quite a range, the mining tool. So I always get rid of toxic creatures just because. There's a little bit of sodium. Again, the glowy yellow is the giveaway. There's another one over there. And you say you will need this. And you'll also need this blue stuff. So it doesn't hurt to sort of mine it early on. And I've got you notice I had a little crystal pop into my inventory. Inventory space becomes crucial because you will run out pretty quickly as you get more materials and minerals in there. So that gave me more dihydrogen, which is the stuff I'm mining from the blue crystals, which will get me ship fuel. Alright, use a jetpack. I'm just saying what to do. Well, this is very convenient. I happen to just run towards my ship. What typically happens is you will actually, when you're on your way to your ship, you will probably have a storm and you'll have to seek shelter. Let's see, emptied, gives you some. You want to broadcast that you're kind of you are activating as a traveller. Alright, let's go through that. Investigate the crashed ship. I think you're going to need some parts. I think that's where this thing, if I remember rightly. So this is the ship, and it'll tell you that you're in the ship, but it's broken. Of course. But you can take shelter in a ship. So if a storm happens to come along, you will be able to hop in here and get protection from the storm. So it's going to tell you what's broken, launch pulse engines offline, equipped and in danger. I have no memory of how I got here, but this ship seems to recognize me. Controls react to my touch. So it's all looking good. So you can read the log. So you're going to have to repair the ship system. And what's going to do, it's going to show you the things you're going to need to get in order to repair the ship. So, I need a hermetic seal, some metal plating to fix my pulse engine. So, it's pretty bad. So E to go out of the ship, and what happens is when you exit the ship, it actually saves the game for you. So you've got you've essentially got a sort of a way to save the game is actually going in and out of a ship, and that's important because it's not like a lot of games where you've got a regular ability to save a game. You actually have to do this sort of in and out of the ship shenanigan. So I need some metal plating, and I need a hermetic seal. So continue on. So I do have enough ferrite dust, and I need to craft some stuff. Now, the thing you will find is things like this damaged machinery, and if you look at the damaged machinery, it will tell you what's broken on it. I need some sodium nitrate to repair that, and that'll give me access to whatever's in there. So I get some sodium nitrate, then I can repair that. Containers, they actually have stuff in them. Let's see what's in there. Sodium nitrate. Well, look at that. So that's kind of convenient. So now we'll go back here and we can look at the damaged machinery. Click that, and we've repaired it. And it gave us what's it going to give us? Gave us some nanites. Nanites you can use later on for trading for blueprints. Very useful thing you will need there. These little boxes, more condensed carbon. More condensed carbon. You also find damaged containers. The thing about damaged containers is they always come with this rusted metal, which really is useless. I usually just stash that in my starship until if I'm near a starship, which I'm hopefully nearby. Gave me some more dihydrogen, which is the fuel. I still need, let's see, oh, I've got enough ferrite dust, so I can actually craft some metal plating. And to craft, you just click on this, select what it is you want to craft, and there's some metal plating. So now it says return to the starship, conduct repairs. So I can go back to the starship, hop on board. Again, hold the E key down. This holding down keys is the thing that's a little non-intuitive. And then hit tab, go to your starship inventory, and the pulse engine I think is what needs the metal plating. Yep. So it's now going to tell you still need some more stuff. Hermetic seal. So request assistance is always good. It'll probably tell you where you can go get some. Yep. Guess what? It's nearby. So you're going to have to get this distress beacon info. Let's see. Alright, continue. Search the distress beacon cache for supplies and locate the hermetic seal. Now, the thing about this is that it's going to send you somewhere. And as soon as it... I don't know what these things are. But we do have our scan. Look at that. It's going to tell us that we're going to need to look at the distress beacon, but before we do that, because it'll do something that I know will cause some angst. What? Nothing like I've seen that before. But I'm picking up my sodium, and you notice when you do this little, when you do the scan, it actually shows up where the sodium is. So I'm just picking up some sodium, so I've got a good supply because I may need it. The other thing I'm looking for is some sort of shelter. And the reason you're going to need shelter is that wherever it sends you, you're probably going to have to dive into a cave, which is where the protection typically is. Oh, another one of those hostile plants. And let's collect that. Alright. It's not obvious where there are any caves, but you will need to find one. Otherwise the storm will, or you have to get back to the ship. That's the other thing, is remember where the ship is. Alright, so let's just see where the this distress beacon takes us. Alright, take the planetary chart, you've got to have that. And like anything else, you have to do an E. And it'll put a little bipper on your screen to show you which direction you're supposed to go to whatever it is you're looking for. So it's over there. Alright, so it's over there. And actually, interestingly, it looks like there's a little hill thing there, so it's quite possible that there'll be some shelter over there. Not always guaranteed, but it's where you see hilly terrain is often a good sign that there's some shelter. And if you see stuff on the way, like these blue crystals, grab them. But you will need lots of this to get off on and off planets, because your launch thrusters only hold so much stuff, and you get the chance of getting these crystals. Sometimes they give you useful stuff, other times they just give you more of the same. And you can just keep doing this. See, just yeah, incoming storm. Now, well, look at that. So we're actually going to have to hop down this, so if you stay out in the storm you will die. But luckily, I'm going to hop down into this cave. And you'll notice, oh, we've got a hostile plant to get rid of first. Right. Okay, our weapon ran out of charge, so we're going to need to recharge it. And so that's under multi-tool, mining beam, throw some carbon. I don't have very much carbon. Okay, well we're gonna. That's not good. So we're gonna have to find this. We have to find some more carbon. Right, we're out of the. Yeah, let's see. This has got carbon, so we'll take some of that. So we're going to need more carbon to be able to recharge the to actually recharge the mining tool. So we're just wandering around in this cave looking for more carbon. No, it's just giving us sodium down here. Okay. There we go. Plants typically give you carbon, so these sort of bulby plant things should be able to reload our carbon enough to, because we're going to need quite a bit for our mining beam. Yeah, it's out again. Alright. This time I should have almost enough to fully charge it, but I'll make sure we've got a good stockpile. But notice we're out of the storm when we're down here, so we're not going to get killed. So all I'm doing is stockpiling some carbon so I can reload my mining laser. And there seems to be plenty of it down here in these, whatever these bulb plants are. And when you go to different planets, you notice all the plants look quite different. There are different compositions, they're different. Some of the same essential materials, but sometimes you'll find different minerals in plants. You may find salts, you may find metals, you may find all sorts of stuff in plants. So this is a highly toxic planet, so you're probably going to find odd things like chlorine and strange toxins in plants. Don't eat them. Not sure how long the storm's going to last, but I've got plenty of work to do down here, stockpiling carbon anyway, so I may as well do that. There's some more over there. Alright, that's more. Notice this other one where I pointed, it said advanced mining laser required. So I'm going to need an update to my multi-tool to be able to get more, sort of be able to actually mine these advanced either minerals or plants or whatever it happens to be. Cave marrow, you can kind of eat those or you can feed them to creatures, I think. I haven't actually figured that one out myself yet. But carbon's typically what you use to create food that you may want to feed to creatures. But we're not there yet. We're just trying to... I'll go and have a look and see if the storm's done. But you'll notice that I only have the one bar, which is my health. That's the white bar at the bottom. When you see... I'm actually doing ferrite there, that's all right. We've got plenty of carbon now, so we can mine to our heart's content. Oh, we got a geode out of it too. So back to the exosuit. Let's see what we get from this geode. I gave us more ferrite dust. We're in pretty good state. We've got plenty of sodium. We've got plenty of carbon. So we've actually got enough to sort of survive out there now. But yeah. The maximum stack size is like 9999. So you can stash a whole load of materials. No need to worry about running out of stack space. No, there's loads of these things down here. When you find it, yeah, make the most of it, because you may not find these everywhere. One of the things I found is that some planets are very sparse in certain minerals. Another thing about caves is that there's often alternate entrances and exits. Not always. I don't know what this purple stuff is. There's more ferrite dust. And interestingly, this cave doesn't have what most other caves have, which is something called, here it is, cobalt. They just look different. cobalt is going to be very useful. That's something that actually sells for a lot of money. So if nothing else, it's good from a money-making perspective. Okay, gave me more cobalt. Okay. So it looks like these are cobalt. No, that's cobalt. Yeah. No, I don't want the bulb marrow. No, never mind. We can sell those. So yes, cobalt is really good. They look different, so don't always assume they're going to look like that in other caves, because the ones I saw look like these sort of stalagmites. These ones look like basalt, Giant's Causeway chunks. But this is good to get cobalt while you're in a cave, because they say it's good money making, and there's usually a fair bit of it. So we're out of, so we go multi-tool, reload our mining beam with the oodles of carbon we now have, and mine some more cobalt. Don't want bulb marrows. Oh, hazardous. But notice this one's got sodium in it, so we need that. So yeah, if I walked over there, they would have probably spat at me and done me some physical damage. So it's always a good thing to get rid of hazardous flora as soon as you see it. If nothing else, it doesn't sort of, it doesn't unexpectedly spit at you. All right. You also notice my mining beam overheated. It can do that. Okay, got some more. So I saw some more cobalt over here. Let's take a look again. That's cave marrow. I could have sworn there was cobalt there. And he forgets what crouches. So there's like quick key bindings. I think you can select. I don't need to take pictures of anything. Oh, put my light on. That can be useful because some of the. Oh no, this is my portable refinery. I've forgotten I have one of those. You notice in my exosuit I have. Oh. That's odd, I don't see my portable refinery. You will get a portable refinery later on that'll actually let you convert minerals into refined minerals, which are very useful for, in fact you're going to need to do that for some of the fuel. I think you actually need to get oh, that's interesting. So that needs a terrain manipulator. That's a huge resource deposit of cobalt there. But you need another advancement on your mining tool. A thing called a terrain manipulator, which actually sort of digs holes as well as just mines the minerals directly. Alright. Oh, silver. That's just actually worth money. I think more toxic, yeah. I'll have some of that sodium. Okay, it's overheated again. Right, got rid of that hazardous material, hazardous or toxic plants. I have to find my way back out the cave. Nope. We got more cobalt. And it looks like this is like a lava tube cave. So there are regular caves that you sort of descend into, and then there are lava tube ones which you tend to drop into. The good news is I haven't found any hostile things other than plants in caves. So there's no hostile creatures or sentinels, other things you really want to worry about. Those can be nasty. But a lot of things in this game, unless you shoot at them, they tend not to shoot at you, or other than toxic plants will spit at you periodically. So if you get a lot of them, they will kill you. This looks like where we came in. No? No. You notice there's no like local maps. So finding your way around, you kind of got to remember where things are and look for landmarks. Whoa, that one's just about to explode, so get away from that. It looks like I've been taking some damage in here, so I'm going to need to recover my... But that one gave me oxygen, which I need to recover anyway. So you hit life support, pop some more health in there, and I'm now topped up again. So we're looking pretty good here. Where the heck is the exit? Urgh. Some caves are small and others go on and on and on, and this might be one of the on and on and on ones. Oh, what was that? I saw an exit. Nope. And we're back to this huge cobalt deposit. The good thing is they tend not to respawn, so once you've got rid of these, they're gone, and you've got the materials to prove it. This is good. I think this is the way out, actually. And we've got some carbon. As you get some while we're here. Sometimes it's easier to just mine it than walk around it. And it's watching my heat. So far, getting close, let it cool down. Oh, those things. Some of that. And some of that. Okay, I'm going to have to reload my mining beam in a minute. Alright. Oh, another one. Multi-tool, reload. Yeah, once you kind of get enough of the basic ingredients, it's easy to keep your stuff going and yourself alive. So as long as you've got some sodium, some carbon, some oxygen, you're pretty much set. You can live another day. Oh, thought this was the way out. Looks like it's more cobalt. Yeah, this is where not having a map of your local... Oh, this is one of those hostile things. This is where not having a map of your local surroundings can be a little challenging. And let's see, I'm just going to keep... Well, since there's loads of this cobalt around, I'm buying it. Well, I'm mining it. Cool off. Because this will come in useful not only as to say if you want to make some credits, or units they call it. The currency is units. But it is useful in building a lot of material, a lot of equipment. Didn't finish that. There you go. Oh, there's lots down here. Now, on one of the accounts, I actually managed to mine enough cobalt to buy a starship, which is probably was a bit tedious, but it was one way of doing it. In fact, you can do market manipulation. You can dump a load of cobalt, wait a bit, and go buy it all back, and you've suddenly got a profit. But you need a sort of a large, valuable stockpile of resources, and cobalt's one of them that seems to work. Oh, so I just did my scan thing to see where stuff is. Oh, there's toxic stuff around. I think I see a little lava tube entrance up there to the left. I'll head that way. I'm really fed up with this. Okay. Let's see. I think this will take us out. Oh, I thought I did. I thought I saw light through it. Is that hostile? No, I don't even know what it is. Darn. I'm sorry for getting lost here, but it seems like there's a tree down here. Look at the roots. Here we go. But while I'm here, I may as well grab some cobalt. Okay, so lava tube caves have challenge getting out of. I think I can make it up to that little ridge. Oh, it looks like that storm is still raging out there. Storms do seem to go on intermittently, so there's some, and it does seem to be planet related too. So sometimes there's a storm. No, it usually tells you there's a storm. Because the storm is going to kill you. Okay, so we're going to have to try and go the rest of the way. Yeah, it's acid rain. Hey! Alright. Yeah, it looks like it's just normal weather here. It's not... oh, there we are. That's where we're actually heading. So yeah, when it starts saying toxic protection, that means that your environmental systems are taking damage. That's okay. That's why you got plenty of sodium. Some of this up. Got another one of those. Go back to exosuit. So these are each of the storage systems. Oh, we've got quite a few fragments. Looks like it's all. Ah, maybe something I just discovered is whatever you. It seems like they will turn into whatever the last thing it was that you mined. So maybe using them when I was mining cobalt would have been more valuable. So in other words, if I just mined some cobalt and had a pile of crystals, use the crystals, chances are you might get lots more cobalt, which would be much more, or silver. That would have been more valuable. Alright. Notice, and if you didn't actually go high enough, but if you go really high, you will actually take damage. It's like something toxic is shooting at me. There is a hostile plant here, but I'm not sure where it is. Oh well. There's one there. Crystals. As I say, when you see them, grab them. I think we're okay for sodium, oxygen, and carbon. Yeah, we're okay for that. I'll just top my health and my environmental protection, and then I'll reload my mining beam, and we're good to go. Actually, we'll just finish this off. Oh, that's useful.
Toxic protection falling.
Yeah, well, it must be in that building. And now, interestingly, all these buildings have been different. I've found some that have these sort of aperture openings, other ones that have sliding doors. This one looks like it might be. I'm not sure about this building. Maybe this is the entrance. Oh yeah, entrance is on this side. Okay, that was a window. Right, sort of sliding door thing. Oh, that's a. Okay, I've not seen one that has an opening window before, but that's kind of cool. So hit things like this hollow archive. See what it's going to give me. So we've got some warning that they've left us supplies. So this must be where we get our hermetic seal. Okay, that's what we needed. And always check around. There might be something else in here that's useful. Don't see it. There's another one of these things here. So always investigate them just in case there's something interesting in there. And sometimes you just sort of hover over things and they'll show you stuff. And in this case, not like there's anything. Okay. Well, it's worth checking. Oh, there's. That looks like a data. Yeah. Sometimes getting the access. There we are. So this will probably give me navigation data. That'll actually give you something you can exchange at a space station for information or a location of some sort of anomaly, ruin, or other useful artifact. Oh, and look, we've got one of those damaged machinery things here, so always check those out, see if we can repair it. Tell us what minerals it needs. Sodium chromatic metal. Okay, we haven't got a hope of doing that. We need copper to get chromatic metal. We're not even close to getting that yet. Alright, so there's an analysis visor now. So we actually hit the...
Toxic protection.
Oh, of course we need something. We need to fix our visor. Alright. So gather and craft visor components. Alright, let's see if we've got in... So hit the E key. Install my visor. What does it need? It needs carbon nanotubes. Alright. Well, guess what they're made of? Carbon. So we should be able to go to this, and we should be able to click on this, and we should be able to make carbon nanotube, which we can, because we had carbon. So now we go back to our multi-tool, and we got our analysis visor. We can put the carbon nanotube in, and now we've installed it. So analyze objects for rewards and locate your starship. So this is where it becomes useful. So if we hold the F key down, it turns into this scanner mode. It's kind of useful. So we've got this sort of flora and fauna. So let's have a look at this fauna. Just hold down, scan it. Oh. Okay, it tells you what it is and what it likes. And these are all versions of the same creature, it seems. That's a tree, unidentified plant. So parasitic, uses atmospheric moisture. So now when you click on something, or you hold your mouse down, let's have a look at these minerals, because we're probably going to have a go. Nope. Let's find some minerals somewhere. Alright, another plant, I guess, okay. No, those are minerals. So this time it'll tell you what other minerals are in there. So this has got ammonia. That makes sense. Okay, so now once you've got that, it's identified. It's like another plant type. When you get question marks, so now you're going to get the secondary minerals whenever you mine that. So see, this one says ferrite dust and ammonia. So I'm actually going to start picking up some ammonia now. I don't know what I'm going to do with the ammonia other than make cleaning products, but it's useful. Because now it knows the name of the mineral, azodite, hyite, whatever that is, and what its composites are. So this is pure carbon. So sometimes you'll actually get other minerals out of plants. Oh, radon. Looks like we're getting radon out of this. It might be useful later. That's the part of this whole challenge is a lot of stuff you're going to be picking up that's going to be useful later, and all of a sudden you find you have no space to put the later stuff in, which is kind of frustrating. So I'm sure we're going to need radon at some point, but it's... Okay, we're going to need to recharge that. Let's have a look at this hazard plant. So we're going to hit the F key. Let's have a look at this thing. Okay, I think we know we've scanned all of this. It's still just oxygen. No. Oh. I discovered something that was cool. Not exactly sure what that meant, but it's still cool. When I go back to my exosuit, I'm going to have to put up my hazard protection. Taking a little bit of damage, probably from radiation. And let's see, is there anything else around here? No. Okay, Starship. Starship's easy. See that Starship? It's over there. So we'll just start heading back towards the Starship. Oh, so when you see unidentified, scan it, and it will tell you what else is in there. Okay, it's got carbon again. Okay, we need it. We use all we got another unidentified plant. Eventually, once you've identified most of the plants on the planet and creatures, you'll know. Or sulfurine, yeah, another. Right. Yet another... oh, wait a minute. This is unidentified again. It's got a known unit as well. Everything that's green is already known about. Everything that's purple is something new. So just getting a bit more ferrite dust. Oh no, that one's another unidentified. Don't want to just mine it until you've actually figured out what's in it. Just in case something else useful. Might not be, might just be carbon. Oh, Mordite. I'm not sure what can do that. I think you're going to have to sell most of the stuff. Most of the stuff early on that you can't use. Advanced mining lasers needed. Don't really want any more sulfur in. I don't even know what that is. Probably not that useful. Blue stuff. Let's vacuum this stuff up. Toxic plant that's taken out, always spits at us. So C key will give you a quick view of anything useful. So there's more sodium down there, so we can actually go and get more dihydrogen crystals. Sodium plant, you actually just gather that with the E key. And let's see what else is around. Going up slopes often, whoa, good just to use your jump boosters, but when you fly over the top and you find that you plunge down into a cave, it can get nasty. Alright, here's some crystal fragments. So you can also see where the sodium plants are. Those sort of glowy yellow things in the distance over there are more sodium plants. So if you need to find some before you get your scanner working, and say look for the glowy yellow, this is some sort of crater thing. Oh shit. All right. Again, the terrain is just completely different than the other planets I've been on. This is actually not too bad to navigate. The volcanic planet I was on, it was almost impossible because the terrain was so steep. This one seems to be working out okay. So let us keep trying to get to our ship, which is over here somewhere. Alright, in the interest of time, I'm not going to keep mining stuff. I'm just going to head to my ship. I think we've got everything we need. Let's just see, first of all. So everything's in units. We've got units of measure, units of currency, units of something else, I don't know. Anyway. Toxic plant to take care of. Oh. Something just splattered me. Where the heck is it? Oh, it's a red plant. Oh, it's got oxygen in it. Okay, so we can actually gather oxygen. I didn't know. Something's definitely attacking me. Taking a lot of toxin from somewhere. Some identified plant. Might be one of these. Alright. how we should make it. I'm not going to bother putting more environmental protection on until I get to my ship, because once you get to the ship, that top bar your hazard protection recovers, and your health doesn't, so you will need to presumably recover your health. So we're just going to pop into the ship. Again, hold the E key down and in you go. Alright, so it's looking slightly less broken. So hit the tab key again, figure out what's broken. What do we need? We've got some metal plating, and we need the hermetic seal.
Repaired. Technology repaired.
Alright. So to take off, you need to get your launch thruster going. So we need some dihydrogen jelly and some pure ferrite. Now, interestingly, we're going to give you, I think they're going to give you some technology to do that, I hope. So, the inventory. Alright, so we actually created that from our blue stuff we were collecting. So now we should be able to go there, and we should be able to add the component in there, and the other one is going to be pure ferrite. Alright, so to do that we're going to have to go back out again. You notice our hazard protection is back up to max again. So now you're going to actually use your portable refiner, which is kind of useful. So now we have to construct one, so we need some metal plating to do that. So we need some metal plating, and we need to
Toxic protection. Falling.
alright. So you need to put some fuel in it, which of course is carbon.
Recharge.
You need to put some ferrite dust into it. How much do we actually need? Oh, it doesn't matter, we can get some more. And then we'll just begin. It'll take a while to do that. So while it's doing that, this is one of the useful things, is while the refiner's doing its thing, I'm going to go out and mine some more ferrite. This will now put it all in the refiner. There's plenty of ferrite dust around, so we'll just make the most of the time and use it to chuck the refiner out there and make it do its thing. There's no point in waiting and watching it. It'll tell us when it's finished. Multi-tool, reload, more carbon, there we go. I think it's finished. Let's stop gurgling. Make sure I've got enough ferrite dust. Yeah, it's green. Alright, so hit the E key to interface with the refiner. Pick up your pure ferrite. Chuck that in there. Well, one thing I will do is, in fact, I'm going to go back to... I had some rusted metal. If we go to the... I'll take that out of the starship, I'm going to put it in my... accumulate it with the rusted metal in there. And a useful thing, little tip, is you don't need to throw this stuff away or sell it. Just it goes to ferrite dust. It takes a while, but again, when you're doing other stuff, it's always a good idea to run your refiner if you've got things that you can use to refine. Okay. else, another plant I need to investigate. And when you get money for researching unidentified plants, you get some units. So it's always a good idea to analyze anything that is alien. You don't know what. If it's got question marks, analyze it. Could have some good properties. Again, radon, not sure what they do with that. There you go. All right. Anything else I am unidentified? No, everything seems to be identified. Sometimes there are creatures you will, if you see them running around, that you might want to have a quick look at, but looks like we're pretty much done. Alright. Oh no, that one I haven't. That one I haven't. So let's identify that before we finish mining it. There's more ammonia. Okay. And it looks like our...
Toxic protection. Falling.
Yeah, looks like we've got this thing, this guy's back. Let's take a look at the port refinery. Have our ferret dust accumulated in our exosuit, and then middle button to pick up the refiner. Put it in your... So you can access, you can repair from inside or outside. So I'm going to repair from outside. Let's see what it is.
Repaired. Technology repaired.
Cool. So we're ready to launch. So we're going to go back in our ship, and we're actually operational now. So W to take off. We are here. So I'm going to stop it here. And